The whole field has been democratized versus what it was like during shuttle or before, when it was NASA did everything and you couldn't touch them. And now normal people are calling us up saying, hey, we want to do something. And it's companies that are part of our lives that are like Adidas. They've flown a couple of experiments. They looked at how a ball rotates, which I thought was kind of a flimsy idea for a science experiment, but they sell more than $250 million worth of soccer balls every year. And at the beginning of the Premier League season, all the potential soccer balls that would be used by Premier League are tested by the Premier League athletes, and that's big money. So that was something that I think brings it down to us, to something that we'll see and we touch perhaps every day.
Fantastic.
As we have more and more satellites in low Earth orbit collecting data about the Earth, there is a whole opportunity for what we call edge computing in space. And this is putting more intelligence into the satellites themselves. And so we can now develop an application, upload it into a constellation, and start identifying information about the planet really in real time. So we have customers, for example, who are deploying applications to identify illegal fishing boats in the Gulf of Thailand. We have identifying wildfires in the western US. The number of applications is just amazing, but the ability to pivot rapidly is what is really driving innovation.
Also, the debris issue is something that had been talked about for years before. In fact, we've been talking about space debris or orbital debris, which basically means the same thing. It's really the US prefers orbital and the rest of the world uses space. We've been talking about it for 30 years, actually a little bit before that, but the first real US government focused approach was in the Clinton administration in 1993. And it was only recently, in the last few years, that the FCC arrived at a point where it started to impose requirements on applicants seeking an operational license of a satellite.
So I think we're ultimately destined to spend more time in space, going to the moon, going beyond. I don't think Elon Musk's plan of creating Mars as a safe haven, I don't think that's practical. If we mess this up, there's not a lot of hope for us. But at the same time, I think there are opportunities, and that's really what we shoot for, commercial opportunities to do things in space, like a GPS or technologies that are look-down technologies are important to us. That's one area that people make money, and there's opportunity for us. But I also think utilizing microgravity to do things, and they've found trends. It's almost like a new science where they're figuring out that you can grow larger crystals or more uniform crystals in space.
When I think about the various technologies that are the hot technology areas these days, people are typically talking about Internet of Things, autonomous vehicles, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. There are a number of these hot technology. The blockchain is another one. The fascinating thing about space is every single one of those technologies is applicable to space. And it is an area for intense innovation because of the challenges of the environment. So let me give you an example. If I think about an Internet of Things device, okay, it's typically something that's deployed into a remote location. It's going to be hard to get to. It will have sensors collecting data about the environment that it's in. It quite likely could be a very harsh environment, so it has to be designed to withstand that harsh environment. It has to connect to a network to transmit that data back to a central processing facility where that information can be processed and understood and turned into information. So what I've just described to you is in fact a small satellite, because every single one of those attributes applies to the small satellites, and even more so. So again, all of these technologies that are hot areas for development apply directly to space. Yeah.